Recorded live from the Random Secret Studios all over the Delaware Valley.
I'm the capo. He's the prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the pod. So, Adam and Devin, welcome back to episode 21. Probably week 300 of the quarantine. And then, just like 2020 couldn't do anything different, we also have protesters and looters, oh my. So, how are you guys handling the protesters in the day and the looters at night? We'll start with Devin because he's in the suburbs, so he probably gets.
Yeah, Devin.
Then we'll go to the city.
My response is,
how's
what
the
protesters? What is going on? I'm not sure what's going on, guys. I've been living under a rock. I'm sorry.
And Adam and I, living in the city, probably have two different views, just like we have two different views for all other reasons. But I am in the art museum area, so I get the closed down streets for the protesting in the day. Adam is in Center City, where not far from there, where he sees another side later on at night. So Adam, how's your protesting and looting going?
I saw a Starbucks go boom. I saw a cop car go boom. I also saw a Rite Aid get looted for 45 straight minutes before 35 members of what I can only assume stormtroopers showed up in front of the already empty Rite Aid to administer no aid whatsoever.
So they could never work for Domino's because they couldn't get there in 30 minutes or less.
That was the slowest response time I had ever seen because, you had to imagine that whatever alarm Rite Aid had went off immediately. Because here's the thing. Before that night began, most stores were already closed. You know, it wasn't like people were actually in that Rite Aid at the time. So I'm assuming an alarm system was set up, and they just went boom. And it's like, I'm not saying this is a random Rite Aid. I'm right next to Comcast, too. The Four Seasons is something I can look into right now. It's like a very decently important area, I would assume, for some particular reason, and 45 minutes to show up. But it doesn't really paint the picture like walking into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 just to get into my lovely apartment building. Yes, thank you to the National Guard and their M4s for escorting my skinny black ass into my room today.
Yeah, I'll walk downtown going to the Reading Terminal Market, and I looked at City Hall. You know, I'll walk different routes to avoid things, but I walked past the municipal building and the municipal services building in City Hall, and I thought I was in London 1994 with the IRA there, like just military. Am I in South America? Am I in Central America? Like it's who would have thought protesting police reform would turn us into a police state?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Whoever thought about protesting police reform?
But
literally this.
as a resident of the city, I gotta say I've got such little faith in the leaders of our city government, especially our mayor, who can't string together a sentence without correcting or backing off what he says. I mean, the only person I actually don't mind watching on TV is the police commissioner. That's it. She's the only person.
She's fun. Yeah. I like her. She's got pizzazz. Yeah. Like she actually is like, look, man, I'm pissed too.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, yeah, we used tear gas because they walked onto a highway. They endangered people. So, yeah, you got tear gas to get the hell off the highway. And I'm like, I agree
Moral
with
you. Moral of the story is this. It's a very interesting moment in our time. And it's a very, how would one put this? Unprecedented. In the course of like a 72-hour period, you go with pandemic, then pandemic protest, then pandemic protest riot, pandemic protest riot looting, pandemic protest riot looting tornado, pandemic protest rioting tornado, second tornado, pandemic protest rioting third tornado, then a small mini hurricane. This is all since Friday.
No, yeah.
Last Friday, we've all got this. So ultimately, physically, spiritually, emotionally, I am drained to all get out. But I will say, the following, and I truly want to stress this, as this is just my thought and my opinion. You do not have to tie this to the Sons of Ben, to Matthew, to Devin, anyone else here. Um, it's tough out here. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the universe to be a young person right now, because there's a lot of different things tugging you in a lot of different directions. And me personally, it's tough being a young black male. And we don't have to get into the conversation about all racisms, or we don't have to get to the conversation about statistics or numbers and all of that. That's not what I'm here. I'm here for feeling. I've always been here for feeling. The reason why I'm a capo is not because statistically I'd be a better capo than anyone else. It's because I feel like this is something I want to do. And emotion is what drives me to do most of the things. And the emotion and the outcry that people feel from all directions, it needs to be at least heard and processed and not dismissed. All of it. But once we have processed it and we have filtered it, we have to come to the conclusion there are people out there who are hurting. There are people out there who feel pain. They felt pain, they continue to feel pain. And the most important point is they continue to feel that that pain is ignored. And the best way that we can come together and to at least figure out what brings the National Guard to our streets, what brings unrest, what brings protests for weeks on end, is hearing those voices and possibly trying to figure out a solution to these voices. Not everything can be heard. Not everything's overnight. Not everything is going to be solved tomorrow. I believe that everyone knows that, and I believe that's part of the frustration. A lot of us might not see the change that we fight hard for. I know my grandparents did not. We all need to put down the phones, and we all need to open the ears. There are voices crying out, and we need to hear them. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I hope everybody takes away from this is that it, there have to be conversations going on, and you have to listen. And it's like this started out as a protest against police brutality, and yeah, there has to be reform. And then it's the Black Lives Movement, and yes, there has to be reform. And then the conversation of looting and inner city violence, and you're like, okay, that has to change. But this isn't just a racial protest. This isn't just a cultural protest. This is almost an educational protest because everyone needs to get educated on every side. And the only way I'm going to loop this in to the Sons of Ben is, social media is such a cesspool. With the Sons of Ben, we've got people on every side of the fence. And you're reading everyone's opinion, and everyone's opinion is should be validated, but we still get on both sides of the fence. Like, I don't know how many people I've seen. If you don't agree with me, unfriend me now. That's not the approach we should be taking during this time. It should be like, hey, I feel this way. How do you feel? And then you have a calm discourse. So I'm hoping throughout this time, everybody, and at least the people that listen to us, understand that somebody's got a different opinion. Doesn't make them black and white, right or wrong. It just is how do you bring those opinions together? I mean, you look at the three of us. There's no way in hell me, Adam, and Devin would ever even interact with each other, just from our backgrounds, race, religion, creed, and ages, whatever. But we do because of something like the Sons of Ben. So
It's because you're
this is
afraid
the
of
time
Wayne.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Wayne.
You don't
No,
understand our mainline lifestyles.
I'm more afraid of where Devin lives, man. That area is scary country. But yeah, so just getting back, I'm hoping everybody at least who listens to to this will go, you know what? There's another opinion out there, and even if I don't agree with it, maybe there's somewhere where we can, I don't want to use the term meet in the middle, but just listen to someone's opinion and go, oh, that makes sense because you don't come from their side of the world. I'm never going to understand what it is to be a black man in America, but Adam does. So he can at least tell me, and his experience as a black man in America is probably different than someone else's experience as a black man in America, depending on where you live. So you can learn something from somebody by listening to them. So hopefully that's as deep and heavy as we get, because I'm ready for the favorite segment of the show, Adam.
Yes, it's time for the fusion. What? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, the beer of the
wait,
pod.
wait,
Sorry,
hold
Adam.
on.
The
Sorry,
beer
I
of
had
the
the music queued up and everything.
All right. Oh man, damn. Okay, so we'll hold on that. Yeah. All right.
So
So
even though
beer of the pod.
because of electrical problems and pandemic problems, we're recording on a Saturday morning, but we can still have a beer in the pod because, beer of the pod.
One Saturday morning. Does anyone remember one Saturday morning?
No.
That lovely 5 hours of summer, once a week, one Saturday morning. It was ABC's block of cartoons on Saturday mornings in like the mid 90s, early 2000s. And it had some gems like Recess, Pepper Ann, when Doug switched over from Nickelodeon to Disney. Some
And
staples.
that's the age difference, because I was too old for that, and Devin probably wasn't born. So that's in
I've seen
Adam.
Recess and Doug.
Thank you, man. Devin, you're not 7. I really want to
Yeah,
stress
I'm not.
this out. Devin's allowed
I was
to
not born in 2001.
Disclaimer: Devin is allowed to drink. He is old enough to drink a
In
beer
Europe.
of the pod. Yeah, only in Canada.
So yeah, just everyone to remember Yards, 2SP, the Larimer. They're out there. They're delivering. They're curbside pickup. In fact, Larimer's opening up outdoor seating, I think, as of yesterday, because Delco is in the yellow. Philadelphia should have been in the yellow, but our illustrious mayor says, let's hold off a week on that one. But
we
so
just did a lot of protesting. I'm a little
Yeah.
concerned too. There was a lot of not social distancing over the last week, so let's
Oh
give
my
ourselves
God.
a minute.
yeah. Well, I think it was more nobody wanted to put outdoor seating to give looters weapons to break into any more ATMs. I think that was more the.
First off, these looters needed no weapons. These were coordinated attacks by professional thieves, half of them. I don't know if you noticed this. These people were showing up in cars, dropping people off, and then coming back, circling blocks. Like this was GTA heist style shit.
No, my one friend who manages a bar was staying overnight at the bar because they didn't get their windows boarded up. He walked
Yeah.
outside and he witnessed. He's like, it was like Fast and the Furious, and because he's a big guy who was standing outside, they avoided hitting the ATM. But he said 2 cars, 3 guys on different corners with walkie-talkies, all coordinating to crack this ATM with a freaking firecracker.
Look, man, here's my whole thing was as a person who lives right on the Parkway, like right off the Parkway, right here in Logan Square, I saw the protesters all day on Friday, and this is the one thing I gotta stress to you: the people who were looting at 11 p.m. were not the people kneeling at City Hall at noon. No one, and I mean no one, stays in Philadelphia for 11 hours voluntarily, unless they live here. We all know this is a fact. So, those people who were doing the looting, those were coordinated opportunists, because that shit was calculated. And also, all those people who were trying to go to King of Prussia, I was like, y'all gonna get shot because Montgomery County don't give a damn, and they got guns. So that's gonna be a fun day for y'all. But the rest of it that was the most calculated thing I've seen in a long time. So it's, it was an interesting story to tell the children. I'm going to have that lovely time period where I'm going to be like, hey, history is going to look fondly on the spring of 2020.
Now, speaking of stories to tell your children, Adam, last night was the Drunken Union Zoom. And had a couple special guests, not even including you, because you were there in effect. But let's see, we had Kai Wagner, who stayed on a good long time, answered questions, spoke about the newborn and how his newborn's cuter than Casper's dog. And then No, we didn't ask him that. And then
I
we
mean,
had
I'm
Jason
hoping.
Davies from, or it's Jason Davis, right, from the
Davis,
United
yeah.
States Soccer Show. Of course, Jonathan Tannenwald. And then late to the game was one Alexis Guerrero from the other half of the Cooligans. So we've had both Cooligans, not at the same time, but
No,
both Cooligans on the, and he stayed a good long time too.
we haven't had the Menage a Cooligan yet. No.
No, we have not. So yeah, drunken union Zoom meeting, and Jared did unveil something that Adam is going to buy in bulk.
First off, only if we combo it with the Wayne AC jersey I was trying to get pushed all those years ago. But hey, anyway, now they have a new drunken Zoom union uniform. That is going to be the tongue twister of the year. They have made a beautiful jersey with Icarus that I mean, look, we all know how good Icarus FC has been with their products. Probably some of the most beautiful soccer jerseys I have ever witnessed. And they have done it again with the collaboration of this very grassroots effort that is this Zoom Union drunk call meeting, which, look, man, I don't know what's going to happen when the season starts or when we're allowed to see each other again, but this thing has become a phenomenon upon its own. So, this is impressive stuff I've been watching.
Yeah, so it's definitely been interesting. It's been fun. Now, to get to a little union news, I don't know if you've heard any rumors, Adam, but apparently NBA. I don't know. Is he a star? Is he just a bench player anymore? No, I'm just kidding. Kevin Durant is supposedly buying into your Philadelphia Union.
So,
How do you feel about a Brooklyn Net owning part of the Union?
First off, they're the New Jersey Nets, and anyone who says otherwise to me is not a real one. All
But
right,
they
the
play in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
No, trust me. So do the New York Islanders. They'll mean anything. All right. Those are the New Jersey Nets. They deserve the Continental Airlines Arena. Oh no, not the. Yep, that was it. It was Continental. Yep, and that was I think the Izod Center. Anyway,
I am super hype about this, but I'm also not dumb. I know what 1 to 5% means. I also know that MLS is an investment to a lot of these people because it's going to appreciate in value. He's going to make money off of this. This is like buying a stock that is a can't miss. So I completely understand why Kevin's getting in here. I understand that his impact might not be substantial. I also understand the fact that ultimately he might not even give a damn. But what this means in the long term is first, Sugarman's willing to invest with other people. That's one conversation. He's willing to, give up chunks to people who are worthy about this. And I believe this might open up the floodgates with a lot of other, not just with the Union, but other clubs in MLS where a lot of these other stars are going to be like, wow, Mia Ham Garcia Parra and Magic Johnson and all of them are out there with Will Ferrell and LAFC. Matthew McConaughey is down there with Austin FC. You have all of these celebrities getting into the investment game, which are these soccer clubs. And I think it benefits everyone involved. And because we're a single entity league, MLS growing, even if it directly is with the Union, ultimately does help the Union.
Yeah, and let's make sure everybody understands this. Kevin Durant buying a 1 to 5% share doesn't mean that now Sugarman's got $10 million to give to buy a player. That's not going to happen. That's not the impact of Kevin Durant. This is just another rich person buying into maybe one of the uglier houses on a block in a great neighborhood, knowing that it's going to appreciate and they'll make their money back. That's what this is. But
If he wanted an ugly house, he would have gone to DC United.
yeah, well, they turned him down.
He tried.
Yeah, he tried. But what this does mean is the Union probably just got on the radar of international players that are fans of Kevin Durant, people that he goes and sees out in Europe. That all of a sudden it's, hey KD, I was thinking about going to Miami. Well, why don't you come to Philadelphia? So maybe we do get the aging Euro star, or some people. Maybe we're a little bit more of a sexy option that Kevin Durant is, shirtless in the river and waving a scarf around. You know,
First off.
that may be the impact. You know, I know you got excited that KD's going to be on the capo
First
stand
off,
with you.
no, that's not. First off, he don't
We're gonna
need
have
a
to get lifts
capo
in your
stand.
shoes.
He doesn't even need the stand. He can just literally stand up as a human. He'd be fine. But it's just like, I mean, I'm all for this on multiple levels, and I'm also very just like I'm not trying to go over the moon with it. But it's like, look, man, you got what the biggest thing in the short term was the Union were one of the number one trending sports stories in the country because of this little acquisition, you know? Now, granted, is it the perfect storm of literally nothing else happening in the universe? Yeah, but look, as an MLS franchise that has been so desperate for attention in any capacity previously, I'm not going to argue with the moment. We have a unique opportunity here to capitalize on some stuff. And what I believe this will do more than anything else, it will get eyes internally in the city, people who are in the region to be like, who were already kind of getting turned by the stuff like the Gleason goal or the little bit of press we got here, the playoff win last year in the dramatic fashion. They see something like this, and then the legitimacy goes up. The Union look more like a real actual entity because the number one thing that Philadelphia has been dealing with the Union is not making them seem like a minor league team, right? You know, we have the four major sports here, and we're diehards with the four major sports here. So the Union had to make themselves seem like a major sport whilst not operating like a minor league team. Because we have minor league teams in the city too. So it's like the Union had to make that separation. I believe an investment like Kevin Durant puts more credence to being major than minor.
Yeah. Now we are always going to know Kevin Durant is a celebrity owner, but I did want to play a little game with you, Adam,
Please.
comparing Mr. Durant to other celebrity owners in the MLS.
Yes.
So,
Let's do it.
and by the way, I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. The answer is always going to be
Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So a
I'll
better
play
baller,
regardless.
better baller.
Okay.
KD, Kevin Durant, Magic Johnson,
Okay.
James Harden.
I mean,
My answer is
it's
Durant.
It's like factual too. That was an actual factual statement. Kevin Durant's like, yes, better than all of those people playing basketball. Yes.
All right, more handsome.
Yeah.
KD,
Yeah.
Austin's Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah.
or Miami's David Beckham.
The Durantula.
Durant, definitely Durant, without a doubt. Plus Beckham sounds like Kermit the Frog on freaking helium. Like
That if
That
there
takes
is
away
a
from his
greater
handsomeness.
if there is a greater difference between the physical appearance of a human and their actual voice, I want to know. Maybe Mike Tyson. Might be Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson might be the winner of that one.
yeah, but I'm afraid of Mike Tyson hitting me, so I'm not going to say
Oh, of
anything. about
course.
it.
But it's just like you're not gonna laugh at Mike Tyson. You might laugh at David Beckham though.
Now, speaking of laughing, who's funnier, you think? Kevin Durant or Will Ferrell?
Kevin Durant.
Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. Only because have you seen his burner accounts? They're hilarious.
Oh yeah. See, the man's got it all. He's all right. More athletic, you know, because you've got Nomar Garciaparra, Russell
please
Wilson,
Don't make me choose
or Kevin Durant.
Durant.
Durant. Yeah,
Look,
this
man,
guy's like a five-tool athlete, man. Just he's bringing everything to the table. This guy's just he's a triple threat. I don't know what else you can say. If he was in the entertainment business, he would win a Tony, Emmy, Oscar, all that crap.
that
Durant.
EGOT? You talk about that EGOT? First off, I will say disclaimer. I love Nomar Garciaparra. He's my favorite shortstop of all time. And
Whoa,
Xanathos.
over the J roll.
Yeah, I love Jimmy Rollins. I love here. So here, real talk. All right, so my family on my dad's side has a place up on the vineyard, and I've been going there like my entire life. You know, so like I have a weird relationship with the Boston Red Sox, where like I was a diehard Red Sox fan, and then I went to boarding school in New England, and that made me hate the Red Sox. But while I was a Red Sox fan, I had a Nomar Garciaparra Red Sox jersey authentically bought from Fenway, and it was one of my prized possessions. I think I actually wore it to one of my picture days in high school, in middle school. Like I loved that jersey.
And real quick, I don't know how this is happening, Adam, but if you look at your window, Larry Boa is scaling your window right now to yell at you that he should be your favorite shortstop in
First
all of
off,
Major League Baseball.
I was not a person when Larry Boa was shortstop for the Phillies.
That's no excuse for ignoring greatness, Adam.
You know who my shortstop was? I think it was Tomas Perez. I think that was my shortstop.
Do not talk Tomas Perez and Larry Boa in the same sentence.
I had
No.
Travis Lee as a first baseman, Marlon
mean
Anderson
tragedy.
as a second baseman. I at least had Scott Rowland. I had Doug Glanville in my outfield with Bob Abreu.
Oh,
Mike Lieberthal, man. Mike Lieberthal.
I hated that team. But so other news, breaking
Yes,
news. Guess who's back?
Is it? Back again.
MLS is back, man. The MLS
Tell
is back.
a friend.
They came to an agreement with the Major League Soccer Players Association, which I
Yes.
did try to get a Major League a Players Association rep on to talk about the deal, but just with the timing, power outages,
Who's the union
them getting
rep?
the deal together.
Is
You
it
know what?
Bedoya?
I don't know who the union rep is anymore. It was Brian Carroll. I don't know who is.
I want to say it's been
Now-
Man, if you haven't known since Brian Carroll, that's at least about 5 years of reps you have
Yeah,
not registered with.
Like I said, I haven't. But we met some of the reps in January in Baltimore, and
Wait, quick
and it's
game.
funny that
Quick game.
it's-
Well, who's the rep you think it is? If it's not Bedoya, I think Bedoya is an obvious answer. Who do you think the union rep is?
Jack Elliott.
Ray Gaddis.
I would, yeah. Actually, I'm feeling strong about Ray Gaddis being the union
Yeah.
rep. That feels
Yeah,
real.
sure.
That feels real. Okay, sorry.
But
continue.
yeah, so this the biggest sticking point. They never signed the CBA, and then
Yeah.
during all this, and this is you got to understand how this league is sometimes because with the Sons of Ben, sometimes we try to do some stuff with the league, and then you read the legal document, and you're like, wow, that couldn't be a more one-way sided. We just got something this week presented to us that I'm like, don't even bring this document to us. We're not signing it. That's bullshit. So they literally wanted to put a force majeure clause in, which they could back out of the CBA if the teams, I forget the amount of teams, but if they dipped under 25% of their attendance from last year. Well, obviously you're going to dip under attendance. And by the way, the players have nothing to do with your attendance. That is a team. That is your marketing. That is your sales. That is how well the team's doing. The player has no individual power over getting asses in the stands. Like as a team, if
Yeah.
they win, yeah, asses are in the stands. But if the team says, oh, we're going to raise ticket prices, then people aren't going to go in there. So it was total one-way BS. But luckily they got that out of there. They signed it. So, we'll see. And you know what that results to, Adam? Guess who's going to Disney World?
Not us.
No.
I don't think we're
Bedoya's
allowed to.
going.
Yeah.
Kai Wagner's going.
Ali's gonna. I mean, is Kai bringing his baby?
No. He actually said that families are not allowed to go down.
Okay,
He
that's
would've-
probably for the
he-
best.
He would have liked to have his family with him just because he's got
He
the
just
the
got
baby
married.
boy. Just got married, baby boy. But he also feels it wouldn't be that safe because, it's just rolling the dice. The players are already going to be interacting with each other. If the families are there, are they going to stay in a hotel room cooped up the whole time, or are they going to go
Just-
out and interact?
Just
So
self quarantine. Is downtown Disney still a thing?
Disney Springs.
Is that
now
what
we're
they
going to
call
tap
it
into my
now?
Disney knowledge. It is back open too.
Okay, because like the last time I was in Disney was 2007, and downtown Disney was still a thing then. So
I do enjoy how Matt is our resident Disney expert.
no,
I
so
know
I've
this
found
lowers
this
me to
out.
the video game nerd. I know.
No,
It's-
Devin, I have
it's
found this
painful for
out.
me.
There is a certain demographic of Caucasian people who just know a shit ton about Disney for no reason. And Matt totally falls into that demographic. It's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but they were just like, yeah, I have
some-
all of the knowledge of Disney parks.
There's some Asian brothers and sisters that are into Disney too, man. Don't
No,
just
I'm
make
not
this
saying they're
Caucasian.
not, but look, as a person who grew up in King of Prussia and had who like straight teachers who were Disney obsessed, I'm just like, there's just certain people who are just like, I know all about Disney. I'm just like, there's Maddie.
Not obsessed, buddy. I did the college program. I'm just well read.
I did.
Well read.
Dude, as everyone knows, the Sons of Ben and Disney have a very strong relationship.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's you can get inundated. If we could combine a Sons of Ben Disney podcast, we would quadruple our numbers.
First off, if you really want to do the Sons of Ben Star Wars podcast, you know who's about to host the crap out of that one. So hey,
Tim?
me and
Oh, you meant
me
you.
and Tim, literally me and that was good to say Tim, but also myself with the person with the Star Wars tattoo on his arm as we speak.
So the schedule, June 24th, they arrive and do testing for all the teams.
Okay.
June 25th through the 8th,
They
they
all
do
go
team
home.
training. Yeah.
because someone tested positive on the 24th,
I
so they
know.
send everyone back home on the 25th.
They don't know the tournament start date, but July 23rd is when the group stage ends. So I guess there's going to be like 16 teams would remain, like a playoff. So they're going to be up into August 6th through the 9th would be the championship for this. So they will overlap with the NBA at the Wide World of Sports.
Which was my biggest fear.
Yeah. Now, for people that haven't been down there, the Wide World of Sports is this ginormous complex.
Yeah.
They've got the soccer fields are with like lacrosse fields towards the back. So the chances of on the complex, the NBA and the MLS players interacting are slim to none. They've got 2 arenas for the basketball, indoor sports. And for our good friends at NYUFU, they also have a baseball stadium so they can have home games there too. So they'll be able to play on a baseball field while the NYUFU people are there. But it's a huge complex, so they're not going to interact. Now, are they all going to share the same hotel? Who knows? So there could be that intermixing of the leagues. I don't know what they're going to do.
So you're saying that Kevin Durant bought into the Union so he could have special perks while he's down in Orlando.
Whoever gets the better hotel, Kevin Durant's going to stay with. Whether it's the NBA, he'll be there, or if it's the MLS guys, he'll be with the Union. Yeah, I definitely think he did that for the better room.
So I will say this, and as an avid basketball fan too, I was hoping that there was a conversation where they were going to adjust the tournament, where it was going to be they were going to reseed the NBA, where it was just going to be 1 through 16, as opposed to Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, and that technically didn't matter. That would have possibly given us Brooklyn versus the Lakers in the first round, and Kevin Durant, with the extra time given to him with this extended break, might be physically ready to compete in a basketball game against LeBron in the first round of the NBA playoffs. I'm just saying
Now-
that I would watch so hard to see Kyrie and Kevin Durant versus LeBron in the first round. I'd watch that
Is that
twice.
the same? Is the same one where the Sixers get Boston in the first round?
No, so that would actually equal us, I think, getting like some Western Conference team in the first round, which I think we would rock. So here's the thing. I still think the Sixers are going to win the championship the same way I think the Flyers are going to win the Cup this year. And not because I'm an over-optimistic Philadelphia sports fan. I just physically believe that as a person.
Flyers are going to win the Cup.
Yeah.
Sixers are going to win their championship. Union are going to win this
No, they're
tournament.
No, they're not going to win this tournament. No, absolutely not. That's not even a
so
question.
that's a question I wanted to bring up. Okay,
Yeah.
so last season we were all about our new benchmark, right? We won our first playoff game. That's the benchmark
That's a
right
big
now,
deal.
right?
Yeah.
So now we go into this.
Yeah.
Not even saying they'll get to the final. Let's say they get to the semifinals
I could see that.
of this tournament, right?
Yeah.
How does that line up with the playoff win? And did they pass the benchmark by getting in the semifinals this tournament?
Yes.
Well, no, because
Or
this
does-
tournament isn't
Yes.
the end-all, be-all, because keep in mind, they're planning on 18 games after this tournament in the stadiums.
Oh, I
There's
didn't know that.
9 away and 9 home. This isn't.
It's like
this-
a
season
U.S.
doesn't
Open Cup.
end the season doesn't end in
Oh.
August. Like once
Well,
this
that's-
tournament's over, they still go back. So winning this tournament would be like winning a U.S. Open Cup.
That would
All
still
right.
be the greatest moment in Union history.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it would still be-
them winning
win.
this tournament would be the greatest moment in Union soccer history.
And they have
And I-
they have won a tournament in Florida before, so they're unlike the Sixers. They don't need the home field advantage.
Here, oh my God, man!
I believe I
that's
saw
not-
that they're going to give a CONCACAF Champions League berth to
Yeah,
the winning
as
team
they should.
too. So that
Well,
also
because you had 2 of them that are not going to happen because you're not going to have the Canadian Championship or you're not going to have the U.S. Open Cup. So you had to at least make this worth something.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, the Union are good. I know it's like a weird thing for us to say out loud, but the Union are a good soccer team. So like we shouldn't expect them not to be able to compete in these tournaments. They've played the best, they've beaten or competed with the best in their house or in other people's homes. The Union had the second best points for a road team last year and also had a dominant like this team is good. And this team got better. So this team is. I expect the Union on full cylinders to be a top 4 or 5 team in MLS. That's just my philosophy on that. So them making it to at least the quarters should be expected. And if they don't, I believe they would be disappointed. You know, it's not even just a fan being disappointed thing. It's like I think their expectations are.
So you
We
think the
should be there.
benchmark is making it to the semifinals?
In this
Yeah.
tournament, I don't know what in this tournament, I don't know what anything means. Because it's just a hodgepodge. Like, look, yes, give the Champions League spot is beautiful, but like this is the year a Champions League spot would totally go to like the Chicago Fire because of just the ridiculousness of this thing we're about to do.
Even look at the Bundesliga coming back, and then you're going to see Premier League. People are going to come back sloppy in the beginning.
Just
And it's gonna
disgusting.
be-
Like, how long did it take
What
to
even Jim
score?
said. What even Jim said on this very pod. He goes, fitness is going to matter. You know, who worked out during the quarantine and who didn't, and then you've got to worry about how you are on the ball and the team chemistry. But you know, I'm not going to discount that they. I hope that they're at least in the semis, but I also don't know how this tournament's structured. Do they have to run through a buzzsaw of Atlanta and LAFC, and then we're not playing like the DCs and the Houstons and the other slop, the Real Salt Lake? You know, where's
No.
the seating? So we can't, you know, and we're not an X's and O's podcast, Devin. So just remember that.
No, but
Um,
like this is not even X's and O's though. This is just basic confusion on just how this shit's supposed to go. And it's like, look, as a supporter, how the hell are we supposed to do? You're like, you know, what are we supposed to? How are we supposed
We
to
probably-
operate through this?
but I do
we
have a
probably won't know until after the tournament's done how much it actually mattered in the
yeah.
scheme of things. So
It's-
I guess we can just hope. for the
It's like
best.
okay, it's like you know, let's look at this as like the International Champions Cup, like the ICC that when they bring over Chelsea and all those teams to play in America for like a couple of weeks. Let's just look at it like that, you know. And maybe like the one team that gets the Champions League spot, if it's LAFC or Atlanta, we're just like, okay, that doesn't even really matter.
Yeah,
You know,
they were gonna get it.
They were gonna get one, you know.
Now, the Union do have a secret weapon that the other teams don't, and his name is Corey Burke. Did you see what Mr. Burke did this week, Adam? I mean, he might be a mid-season form hat trick,
How genius does that whole thing look now?
and he's back. That league ends July 4th.
The
July
timing is,
4th that league ends.
very advantageous.
The team training ends July 8th.
Yeah.
Corey Burke could be back, rested, and ready in Orlando. God bless his visas. Before they even start all of this, in mid-season form. So, well, as mid-season can get. So, you know, and you know who else is going to be hurting a little bit, Adam, because of someone can't control the missus Instagram.
Holy snipe! Holy
Did you
look!
see the and how they
Look.
came to a mutual understanding? They met. They go, bro, this is what your wife said. Bye bye.
Look, man. Dear
Alessandra.
society. This hold on. Let me bring you close here. Hey. Society as a whole. Let me tell you something. Your social media, like your Twitter account or your Instagram account, you don't actually have to post on there every day. Like there's actually not a law that says you have to like say everything that's on your mind. I know. It's an option, and you want to take that option because it's a good one. However, the only thing you're going to do is mess up your money. You're not going to gain anything by it, but you're always going to lose. Look, even if you don't believe in the things that everyone else are agreeing on, just shut the hell up. Not because we don't want to hear you, but because it might mess up your money. And it might mess up your husband's money. And I'm only going to assume it's going to mess up your ex-husband's money.
Let me
I
add.
feel like I've been oddly seduced.
I want a small addendum to that, Adam, too, because that's great advice for people on social media. But if you also speak a foreign language, just because you can write that language on Instagram doesn't mean people can't easily translate that shit. So
Why are we
maybe
this
don't even
dumb?
put that there.
Why are people this dumb? Here's like, look. I don't care what your thoughts on are a lot of things. You know, on my social media, you can go through my social media through the whole thing, and I have a lot of shit on there. And I have a lot of opinions about a lot of shit on there. But you know what I don't say? Anything that's gonna mess up my freaking money. Because you know why? I like having a paycheck. And you know what I know for sure? None of the things that are on social media are worth my livelihood. But apparently, so many of these humans have not conceived that message. And they're just, look, man, if you're against a protest, I'll make this real specific just so we can move on. If you're against a protest, fine. But if you see that 90% of the globe is kind of for that protest, even all the super brands out here being for that protest, Sony is even like, we'll replace our products, but can you replace lives? Like literally there. Just have your opinion and keep it. Hold on to it, because the only thing that's going to do is piss off someone who's going to try to get you fired. And here we are.
That reminded me of something, and I know we got a lot to get through, but is the NFL the ass hat of the week?
They tried to apologize.
Oh my lord.
They tried to apologize, and here's what I want to say. I've never been angrier at an apology in the history of mankind. How?
Wait, you weren't
How?
angry at Drew Brees' apology?
First off, I'll even let. Here's the thing. I can even have a conversation with Drew Brees. I think he's a knucklehead now, and I think this apology is the appropriate thing that you're supposed to do. I'm not sure if I believe it, but I'll have a conversation with him. But for the NFL to have to have the gonads, to have the unmitigated gall, the testicular fortitude to apologize after 3 years of this bullshit, where we literally blackballed a not a top level, but still good enough to play over Nate Peterman style quarterback over this stuff. And now you're going to apologize? And now you're not going to say you didn't listen to the athletes protest hard enough while 12 American cities burned? I'm sorry, Roger.
Just to provide the visual aspect, Adam started this conversation about 2 feet away from the webcam. By the end of that, he was about a half inch from the webcam.
He's in my living room right now.
I think he.
I'm so angry. And the reason why I'm angry is it takes nothing to say the appropriate words. It takes nothing to say the appropriate words. And these people were so hell bent on not saying the right words until 3 years later and a person's career and livelihood was ruined.
And that rant was brought to you by producer Devin, because he lit the fire that time and he can't blame us for going off the tracks.
Seriously, no, I'm sorry, but no, that was so dumb. Like, look. Also, the real asshat of the week, and pretty much every week, is the owner of the New York Knickerbockers, Mr. Dolan. I, as a Sixers fan, am so happy that Joshua Harris is using one of my favorite franchises as a chess piece for his collection, because at least I am not run by that insane human up in Manhattan who's trying to make blues albums, Mr. Dolan. The fact that you were going to, in your city, New York City, the cultural melting pot of possibly the globe, one of the most diverse places to ever be a place on this blue ball hurling through space that we all exist on, you're going to say that basketball team, which, look, if we want to make the obvious implications between the black culture and the game of basketball, let's make that. You want to do it that basketball team and just say we ain't gonna say nothing? We're not going to say anything because as a sports team, we shouldn't have opinions because we don't know better than other people?
And Adam threw the Devin's headsets against the wall.
We have the pure Mike Missinelli moment,
Yep.
reenacted to a T.
What are we doing?
Well,
What
now
are we doing?
All right.
now we're going to jump into a quick segment that you always love, Adam. And no, it's not that segment. Don't get that excited. This is the what would have been. So last Saturday, I don't know if you saw this, but
Yeah.
we wiped the turf with the Columbus Crew. And right now we are in Chester getting ready to board the bus to go to Harrison, New Jersey to beat up on the Red Bulls. How excited are you to go to Harrison and watch the Union beat up on the Red Bulls? Because that's what would have been. We would be playing the Red Bulls today.
I would like to return to the place where I got my greatest nickname ever. That was the Dancing Queen. I loved that. I miss Harrison. And the thing about Harrison is it's actually really fun of a venue. It's actually a really nice place to watch a soccer game, and I am enjoying the gentle gentrification that the town of Harrison is doing around it, because there's a Five Guys right next to the stadium, and I'm not against that, to be honest with you. I'll take that advantage. That's fun. Look, I was just on, and as you know, I was just on a Red Bull podcast, not a Red Bull, a Viking Army podcast not too long ago. Nice lads they got up there. You know, I met a couple of them, good peoples.
And a little known fact, I believe it's a member of the Viking Army is the only individual to be tased at now Subaru Park.
I like that. They
That was
should
one of
wear
my
that with a
favorite-
badge of honor. That should be something that should be on a T-shirt somewhere. Like
Oh, yeah.
only person tased in opposing stadium.
He literally, as he was getting tased, he reached up and grabbed his friend's ankle.
Oh my God, was it a
he-
chain reaction?
Oh, it was a chain reaction.
Oh, they're
Might have
not
been one of the
friends.
funniest things I've ever seen. That was back on the old PPL Park day, but I was like, holy crap. It was great, man.
That's
It
Donovan
was-
Mitchell and Rudy Gobert now. They're not friends.
Yeah.
They're not. Like, you electrocute me, we might have to reevaluate our friendship. Like, why'd you
Oh,
bring me
man.
down with you? That's the friend
So-
you know if you're stuck in if they're drowning, they're also going to drown you. That's what they're like.
Yeah,
They're
when
like,
you went
"No,
on a
I ain't
call,
going down without you.
I wanted to have you bring that up, and I'm like, I'll talk about that later. But
No, that's
hey,
fine.
in other news, because we got to get through some of this other stuff.
Is there other stuff?
Oh, there's other stuff, man. The world keeps going on, Adam. The world keeps going on. Our good friend of the pod, member of the Sons of Ben,
FOP?
your friend and mine, our friend Katie Fellinger. She wrote a book. It
This
comes
woman-
out July 22nd.
This is impressive stuff she keeps doing here. The Katie Fellinger experience has been fun here.
So I told her, like, hey, we're excited, and she says you can actually join the launch team. They close applications on the 9th, so we've got a few days. So you could go to katiefellinger.com and then become part of the launch team. I think you get like a free digital book and other stuff. But she released a trailer, and I don't think Adam saw it because, again, one more time, she even quotes, make sure Booth knows he has a blip cameo in the trailer. So one more time, Adam's overexposed ass gets another exposure on social media video. So there, one more thing for your reel, Adam. Your
The
reel's
haters
getting
will
thick,
say it's
dude.
photoshopped. Look,
So yeah, Katie's got the book, so we're excited. I'm excited
Very
for
excited.
it. And yeah, so we wanted to let everybody know that go on her website, katiefellinger.com, if you're interested in being part of the book launch party and getting some free swag. And I'm sure we'll have her pop on at some point to let us know about the book. But yeah, the trailer's out there, and it was great. Like I texted her and I was like, "Hey, congrats! That trailer was awesome." And she goes, "Did you see Adam?" I go, "I probably just blanked it out, like because I see him so much that I was like, no, didn't see him.
Look,
Can't make me see him."
What you always have to do is when someone comes to the capo stand, this is for all my capos out here listening, make sure when a person of celebrity status comes to the capo stand to make them stand on the stand and as uncomfortable as possible, because they actually will enjoy that ultimately. Don't pamper them. Say, get up there and do the chant, Miss Fellinger. We know that you know the words, so do it. I think she appreciated that as much as it scared her.
And then hopping behind her so you're in every publicity photo too. That way.
Look, I'm 6'2" and beautiful. I don't know what to help do about that. There's a lot of photogenicness here. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Now speaking of things that are beautiful and pure in the world,
Is it time?
it is time for some Premier League Chelsea talk. It's good Chelsea
And I'm gonna have
talk.
to throw the Fusion Minute in here
You
somewhere.
have
Yeah.
his tease.
There's-
This man with his tease. It's okay.
Matt's trying to get out
Look,
of
man,
it.
he's working towards it. He's saving the best for last. I'm here for it.
June 17th, Premier League, And guess who signed with our beloved Chelsea again? Olivia Giroud.
Oh man. Okay, we'll
Spurned-
talk about sexy.
Spurned the Tottenham Hotspurs to stay with Chelsea.
I mean, does he want to go to that tin pot club? What is he doing then? Who
Well,
who wants to sit in the
other-
mid table? That sounds boring.
In other Tottenham news, they just
Going to
took out a
Europa?
$221 million loan. You had to get a loan, Devin.
Oh,
You had to get a
Actually,
loan.
so
loan. Where's that?
the loan was actually a good thing.
Look,
So-
man. Look, I don't necessarily agree with Saudi oil money, but come on, man.
Here's-
You can't be
Here,
a club in London
I'll
asking for a
explain the
loan.
details here. Here's the details.
Did y'all get a bailout?
The loan had a lower interest rate than the current loan for the stadium or whatever bill they have for the stadium has. So they used the loan to pay off a portion of the stadium.
Maybe you should tell your owner this old adage that the old mafia
It was something
bookmakers
like
had.
that.
You sound
Bet with your
broke.
head, not over it.
It might have to do something. They might have taken a chunk of that.
You
money
sound
out.
like a poverty franchise.
Oh no.
You
I cannot
sound
wait
broke.
I can't wait for the Netflix documentary Tottenham Till I Die.
Well, I mean, there's the Amazon one is still in the works. I'm actually pretty
There's
excited.
an
'cause that-
Amazon
that-
documentary
they-
about Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, you know the one they did with like Manchester United and whatnot.
So they're doing one. What?
Like the behind the scenes type
So
thing.
they do them with mediocre clubs too. What are we doing now?
I forget the name. They did a few NFL teams with it too.
Yeah.
But,
But they do one for the
um,
Cleveland Browns.
It started like way back before the Champions League final when they started covering it. So it's going to cover all that through the whole Pochettino thing, through hiring a Mourinho, all that. It's going to be. I'm actually pretty
It's
excited.
not going to end with the Audi Cup.
This is the Oprah Winfrey version of documentaries. You get a documentary. You get a documentary. You get a documentary.
Amazon's like, we got money to burn. Bezos is just giving us a blank check. Let's make a freaking documentary about Harry Kane's inability to make a sentence.
Well, they don't have that money to burn because apparently Tottenham still needed a damn loan. So-
No, I didn't say Tottenham. I said Amazon.
Oh,
I said Amazon has the money to burn. No, here, and
Adam, we-
All or Nothing is the name of it.
of course it is.
We
And
do have-
the answer is nothing. The answer is usually the latter. Now,
Adam,
well, I
we do have
will
some
say this,
very
and as
good
much
Chelsea
as
news.
was there more Chelsea news? Oh yeah, there's more Chelsea
there's
news.
more.
Give me it, Matt. Hit Devin over the head with it.
Right now, if you turn to Fox 2 and you're watching RB Leipzig, they've got a sexy striker who is coming to Chelsea. Timo is coming to Chelsea.
We got a Timo.
So all you Liverpool fans, enjoy 2020 because it's over. Chelsea's coming for you. Timo and Tammy are coming, scoring auto goals.
Timo,
All the goals,
Tommy, we got Captain America. I'd like Mason Mount can just go play for like the reserves now. I don't even give a damn. Like, what are we doing? Oh, we're just
Shit,
doing.
Mason Mount could go to Tottenham. It don't matter no more.
Do you want Mason Mount? He might help. Because Dele Alli is obviously going to leave if Jose Mourinho's still your coach.
Yeah.
If he's still your manager, why is he? First off, we're not going to talk about again the fact that it's always a person of color that Jose is usually pissing off, but that's okay. We'll just leave that to another conversation. to another
Oh,
day.
man.
But what are we gonna
I
do?
saw-
I think they came out with the Ronaldo Mourinho thing on I don't know if I think it was like Fox Soccer that reported it, but it was one of those that like Luka Modric came out and was like, yeah, Mourinho just wouldn't stop like heckling him, and they almost went at it. It was just like, oh my lord. And Ronaldo was like, no matter how good I play, he always has something to say. It's like, oh my lord.
I love
Speaking of bad,
him as a human.
bad choices. Oh, bad choices. I was in in the city and I saw a father and son walking what I thought was going towards the protest.
Yeah.
And my man was rocking a Chelsea jersey. I go, awesome. I look on the back. What player past player would you not want to represent that jersey to a peace protest for, equal rights of races? He was
the
the captain.
owner
No.
or
He's
most of
rocking
the
a John
supporters.
Terry. He's rocking a John Terry jersey. I'm
Of
going,
course. I mean, obviously it's a John Terry jersey, but I'm just saying, like, here's the thing. As a Chelsea fan, I am well aware of the racism that this club just permeates, and I just tend to ignore it because Didier Drogba is really fun. But ultimately, hell yeah, no, do not wear a Chelsea jersey to a protest about equality. You look like a loon. Go get your
Man, that was a
Portland
little bit
Timbers
of.
jersey like everyone else and just make it happen.
Now, I was going to bring up the NBA plan, but we already touched on it. But I do have one thing that I want to bring up, and this will give Adam some joy because I know he's been lacking a little joy during this.
A
Adam, the
little.
NBA plan has 22 teams. Do you know what team has not been invited to the wide world of sports? You just mentioned their owner.
Okay, so look at this. I actually feel bad for their fans because
I
the New
don't.
York Knickerbockers have probably one of the better fan bases in the country. Only because any team that is still alive, like the last time the Knicks were good, Devin, you probably have no idea who this person is. Allen Houston was their best player. Allen bleeping Houston. Also, New Yorkers, that street in your city is called Houston Street. You keep calling it Houston Street. Like, that's not a person's name. Like, he literally wasn't a real person. It's Houston. Houston. Not Houston, Houston. Anyway, I digress. The New York Knickerbockers, I feel bad for your fans because
Yeah,
you deserve
so
better.
well,
But they suck.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't get better. And
I hope
yeah,
they don't
so
get better now, but I'm saying I hope they don't. I hope Jim Dolan sells the team.
I'm looking forward
James.
to the NBA plan to see what goes on, but I'm a little worried about the Sixers having the best home court advantage, and now they don't have a home court, so it might not look good for our boys. But like we said before, we won't know until we see what these tournaments are like. So we'll see. But
I'm gonna save a lot of
the
money
only
on my
other
season tickets, though.
Oh yeah. Only other news I got is Major League Baseball is making MLS look brilliant with their negotiations with their Players Association. So we may not have baseball, but luckily we've got the MLS to look at. And I don't know if Devin or Adam had any updates on the Bundesliga before I give the
We just need to
controls.
intercept this and throw the fusion minute in here because I don't think
I
he's
was
going to let
I
us
was
lead into this.
just going.
First off, no, but here's the thing.
You wanna talk about
I will.
before
You know
I
how
let
I am.
Adam-
You know how I'll
before
come
I
off the
let
top
Adam
rope with it.
Sneak in for his fusion.
Good. No,
hour.
okay, no, seriously, no. I actually will. I will admit. Repeat your question again, Devin. Cut this out. I got distracted. I've been thinking.
I was going to say, if you guys had anything to say about the current Bundesliga, the games
Oh,
that
yeah.
are happening
Okay.
this morning,
Yeah, I'll
and
do
if
that.
not, we were going to let Adam, sneak
No.
in his Philly Fusion 34 seconds.
36. Anyway, no. Okay, so what? No, my thoughts on the Bundesliga have been. I'm happy that the quality of play has increased, but this is all boiling down to the things that we already knew. Bayern's going to win the league again. BVD is going to be second. Dortmund's going to have a really good season, but they're going to be second. Red Bull is going to be going to annoy everyone because they truly understand the value of spending just gobs of money in places, and it's like, but the Bundesliga coming back first in the biggest way was huge for them. And again, I've mentioned this before, but I'm sure France and the Netherlands are just looking around like, that was premature. Because like the France, I can understand that. The Dutch did not necessarily have to cancel their league, I feel. Furthermore, we already know Ajax is probably going to walk away with it. But still, I just feel like the Dutch league could have used the commercial bump for being one of the first leagues back that Bundesliga got for all of this. Like people are now following Bundesliga teams that they never had before,
And I think seeing these Bundesliga games gives both the Premier League and the MLS especially, it gives the fans to set some expectations. It's not going to go back and be as pretty as it was right when it ended. And two, maybe it gets the league some ideas of what to do and what not to do. Like maybe no sex dolls in the stands, but maybe not pump in canned music, or so maybe they'll come out not looking like jackasses after watching some of the stuff that the Bundesliga and the Korean League did. But hopefully that gives them a blueprint of what to do. And Adam is chomping at the bit. So Adam, fire away.
Good
You have 33 seconds.
afternoon. Sorry, it's still 11:30 in the morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Fusion Minute. Now, we are on the bye week. I know it's rough.
Wait, they need a bye week?
First off,
Yeah, they
You
got
know there's
carpal
injuries
tunnel
in this
syndrome.
league, Matt. You only give me 35 seconds. You can't take 12 of them with your questions. All right. If you came to the league watch parties, you would understand all of these things beforehand. I won't have to explain them mid-conversation. And now let's get back
The
to
tornado killed my internet. Sorry.
That's fine. That is acceptable, even though Xfinity is the #1 provider of the Overwatch League. Anyway, let's get back to the action. There really wasn't any action this week. However, if you followed your local favorite Twitch streamers, they had a lot of action for you. And your Philadelphia Fusion did something that I knew the outcome of before it even was announced. Devin, did you watch the Doomfist tournament?
You see, the way my account's set up, I wasn't able to watch it.
So, Devin, this
That's
is the part of
no.
the podcast where you lie and say yes, but leave it vague enough for me to fill in all of the void for you.
Adam, I didn't watch it. What happened?
It was a fantastic event that had all of the Fusion players playing in a Doomfist competition. One-on-one Doomfist action. Stuff that I believe all of us were really excited to see. And the man, the myth, the legend, the self-proclaimed greatest Doomfist player of all time, Chipsa, came out on top, beating the possible and, in my opinion, probable MVP of the league this year, Carpe. That's right, Matthew. We got some fish and chips. Brought to you by Malt Vinegar.
So say, does that make you?
I
Does this
am
make-
Malt Vinegar.
Does this make Adam malt vinegar since it's fish and chips? He can be malt vinegar when he jumps
So
on there.
all
like-
of the Overwatch League commentators have their actual like usernames as well as their real names, and my username is Venture Brother. Brother. If you see it's an A on the end, it says an ER. You see because I'm cultural. However, I believe because of that is an actual television property, I'm not sure Adult Swim would sue me. In fact, if anything, they might be complimented by the homage. However, if I needed a different name, you know it's going to be Malt Vinegar. Now, here's back at the Fusion Minute. So after the Doomfist tournament, we had a lovely, lovely competition where we figured out who can be the best trash talker, and it is still Chipsa. Now, I'm talking to the Fusion PR team because I know they're listening to this right now. The photo that you use for Chipsa is horrific, and we need a new one. It's just doesn't really show the masculinity and the strength of this fine specimen of man, Chipsa. Now, what do we have on the horizon, Matthew? Glad you asked. We have the return of the Overwatch League, where your Philadelphia Fusion still rank #1 on this blue ball hurling through space at unfathomable speeds. Yes, that's right. They're still ahead of the Shanghai Dragons, only losing one match this whole year. I don't count the May Melee as a loss. That's just kind of like, a postseason tournament. What are you going to do about that? You still have the league MVP, Chipsa, Carpe, working at his highest level. And you still have Rookie of the Year, Alarm, playing some of the best support that you can see out there. Guys, we're getting back into it. I'm really excited. And shout out to Tucker Roberts, who is the owner or is the proprietor of the Philadelphia Fusion. He had his 30th birthday just this past weekend.
Well, Adam, thanks for that. I couldn't live without it, and I don't want to get you started again. But man, no love for Dipsa. Jesus, man, poor guy.
So Dips is not a
No,
person.
That's not a real
And that's
thing?
insulting. And noted.
I thought it was chips and dips.
As one great wrestler used to say, you just made the list.
Devin, do we have anything else in housekeeping, or have
We
we
should
pretty
probably
much
wrap things up on that note.
You just made the list.
So I was hoping my mic would start cutting out again during Adam's rant, but it didn't. I was moving it, trying to do whatever I could, but no.
Look,
well,
man, if you haven't read my mentions recently, the Fusion Minute might be our favorite segment. So don't hate what the people want. Give the people what they want.
that was one guy with one follower, and this follower was you. You know that, right?
I got a fan club. What you
could've been-
gonna do about it?
Could have been the malt vinegar burner account, is what I think it
Look,
was.
I will say this. The Fusion supporters group has more members on their Twitter account than the Sons of Ben. So what are we doing here?
There's a lot of lonely people on Twitter.
Yes,
With
sir.
that, I want to thank you for week 21, guys. We got through week 21, and
Our podcast is old enough to drink.
I know. Everyone be safe out there, and remember, wash your hands.
Sexy.